Dr. Umar returns, but he's defending Diddy.
I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary. And I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people. The Roman Catholic Church has taken advantage of way more children than R. Kelly allegedly did. But where is the documentary on Epstein by black people? Where's the documentary on the Roman Catholic Church excesses on black people? You see what I'm saying? So to me, the 50 Cent documentary, again, respect the 50, no issues there. It is an example of self-hatred disguised as community service. You see how that go? It looks like community service. No, it's not. That's self-hate. Jeffrey Epstein has taken advantage of way more women than Sean Combs allegedly did. But where is the documentary on Epstein by black people? Where's the documentary on the Roman Catholic Church excesses on black people? You see what I'm saying? So to me, the 50 Cent documentary, again, respect the 50, no issues there. It is an example of self-hatred disguised as community service. You see how that go? It looks like community service. No, it's not. That's self-hate.
What's up, world? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Keep sending those cash outs to CLBMG. Join the membership and all you buying that merch down below. Gang, listen. So, first things first, I want to make this clear. We are drawing lines in the sand. There is no more riding the fence, bouncing back and forth, trying to make excuses for Diddy or the Diddy defenders. I just did a video a few days ago. It was called The Legion of Diddy. And it was about the super villains that defend Diddy all of a sudden. And Dr. Umar surely is on that super villain list that I've made a list. I've been checking it twice. I've been saying, who are the super villains for the last 2 years minimum? Lord Jabbar, Dr. Umar, a lot of people have made that list, right? Out of nowhere, gang. I don't know what's going on. But a lot of these super villains, or AKA these worthless ass niggas, right, are out here defending Diddy for no reason. I don't understand what's going on. I'm not drawing a line in the sand to then hop over it. If you come out in defense in any kind of way, in my opinion, of this Diddy side of the stance that the documentary is somehow bad for Diddy or the culture, we are going to say you are defending Diddy. Ja Rule, Dame Dash, Marlon Wayans, Kanye, anybody that has something negative to say, and I get it, you could talk all you want about 50, do that to your eyes bulge out. But if you're going to defend, or better yet, criticize the documentary about Diddy and try to make us believe that there is some type of agenda against Diddy, you are lost, and we will rebuke you. We will rebuke you, and we will have nothing but bad things to say about you. And I'm going to say this about Dr. Umar. I've been coming at Umar way before this incident about him defending Diddy. Dr. Umar, I've been coming at Dr. Umar when it wasn't cool to come at Dr. Umar, gang. So, unsurprisingly, he would pop out of nowhere and duck his head out of this hole that he's dug himself in. I've never seen somebody with less accountability. Let's just start there. Dr. Umar has the absolute gall to make a statement about accountability. See, gang, what happens is, it's called the pot kettle, calling the kettle black. And what I learned years ago, gang, when someone is too black, right? They too strong. They too unapologetically just revolutionary. Usually that mother effer is a fraud. I'm just going to be honest. If someone's too religious, too godly, they are usually a fraud, gang. I'm just going to be honest. I can't think of somebody who all day, all night claims to be one thing and one thing only until their head explodes. That person is usually a fraud. And Dr. Umar Johnson is 100% a fraud. in every sense of the word. And we've been seeing that for the last 2 years. Now he got the nerve to come on a on somebody's podcast and call somebody out for self-hatred, right? And not being held accountable. Gang, I cannot make this stuff up. Dr. Umar just lost his school that he was allegedly building for a minimum. I'm going to lowball and say 9 years that he was taking donations for this school that he ended up losing. I don't even know what happened with the school. Last I heard, the school is being auctioned off. That's the last I heard, that some racist guy said he was going to buy it and bury it. Said he was going to buy it and knock the shit down and put a toilet on top. I'm not even exaggerating. I know the guy was tongue-in-cheek, but just the fact that he could say that is crazy. And Dr. Umar can't do nothing about it because Dr. Umar has spent all your donations. He don't have your money, gang. He came out a few months ago talking about the bank froze his accounts for fraud. Yeah, you're the fraud. Dr. Umar is lucky he's not in prison yet. Okay? Dr. Umar is the biggest fraud, but yet we still get these podcasts, and shame on these podcasts for letting this guy get on there and talk this black nonsense. Because at the end of the black nonsense is some cry for more donations. You should be embarrassed. Charlemagne and everybody else that still has this goofball on, and I still ain't seen the episode Charlemagne promised us that Dr. Umar was going to come and sit down with the Breakfast Club and talk about this issue with this school and all this other stuff got it going on. He made a date with Dr. Umar and all this other shit that he had going on. Dr. Umar is the last person that should be talking about self-hatred for black people. Let me read this article so you guys will be on the same page with me. All right? You got to understand, I really, I told you, I grew up in Washington, D.C. in Southeast. I went to Malcolm X Elementary. Now, I'm not saying that's everything, but it means something, right? And I watch Roots at a very young age, gang. I'm different. So when you play that black card with me, it means something. Don't play with it. Dr. Umar, I told you he's very intelligent. He memorized every black issue from A, B to C. All the way to Z and whatever else they got going on. This guy can go from here to the galaxy, the end of the galaxy, and come back, still be talking that black power, raise fists in the air, right? All this, he don't like when you mix the races, this, that, and the third. Frederick Douglass is his hero. Frederick Douglass had a white wife. I don't know if he knows that, but I'm sure he does because he's made a million excuses for it after he named the school the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School for Boys, right? So at the end of the day, when I see Dr. Umar going on anybody's podcast, first of all, I'm looking at the person that got him there sideways. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care who it is. You putting Dr. Umar on your podcast without grilling him about that school and everything else he got going on with his mom and the damn girl. What did he call this chick? I forgot what he called her. Something about her poom poom or whatever. I don't even remember the name he called this girl. Right? The throat goat. He called the girl the throat goat, right? This is your doctor? This is the savior of black people? I think not. Taking donations for mad years with no accountability. Then he's sitting there asking for people to come and work and give their labor for free. People came and painted the school and it rained the next day. Dr. Umar is a disaster. For you to come on anybody, I get he still got to get out here and make his money. When you're a scammer, you still got to scam. So you got to come out here and make his money. But somebody to sit with him with a dashiki on of all things, and you're sitting there talking to Dr. Umar with a straight face. It's disrespectful. I'm just going to be honest. I don't need to see the rest of the podcast because if y'all ain't yelling and screaming, I don't know what you got else to talk about. Just going to be honest. So Dr. Umar, let me read this article on Hot New Hip Hop. Dr. Umar claims 50 Cent made Diddy docu-series out of self-hatred by Caroline Fisher on the HNHH.com website. So gang, let me just say this before I read this, right? For Dr. Umar to have any type of say on anything in this culture is beyond me because the first thing we need is answers on almost everything you've done for the last 2 years. Until you give us those answers, you're not allowed to criticize anybody. And this is what these charlatans do. They got a lot to say about anybody else. Everybody else got an issue. Right? He hides behind it. What's that movie with the freaking I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blacker than black. He can hide behind these black issues, right? Just sit beside him, sit behind him, red, black, and green you to death, hit you with all these problems that we not doing this, that, and the third. No one say, well, Umar, what the hell you doing, gang? You doing a whole lot of talking and squawking. We ain't seeing nothing out of this, but more donations and a bunch of low-level scams, buffoonery and goofy shit. Let me read this. Netflix new 50 Cent produced docuseries Sean Combs' The Reckoning continues to elicit big reactions from viewers. The doc features interviews with various former members of Diddy's inner circle, along with some of his alleged victims. It goes over his early career, outlines the damning allegations he's faced in recent years, and more. While many are glad to see all of this come to light, others have pointed the finger back at 50 and called him out for trying to take down a peer. Gang, let me just let y'all in on a little secret. Everybody in this business ain't peers. Everybody in this business ain't equals. Everybody in this business ain't holding hands singing Kumbaya. That is a fact. Didn't we see Dr. Umar almost fist fight homeboy? What's the other I'm not going to say leader, right? The black leader, right? Tariq Nasheed or whatever his name is. These dudes told each other to drop the locations because they was going to fight. But in most worlds, they would be peers. They used to work together before, if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning, right? For a time, it was good. Then out of nowhere, they talking about drop the low. And these are our black leaders. When I saw them dudes talk about drop the low, I said, grand opening, grand closing. These ain't nobody's leaders. And these dudes been going at it for years. When Dr. Umar lost that school a few months ago, guess who was the first person on Vlad TV giving them the business? Tariq Nasheed. So those are peers. So we're not going to sit here and act like all peers are good peers. Everybody just holds hands and just does the fight together. Don't act like that. We're not going to do that. Sit here and pretend that everybody is working together because they black. We're not doing that, Umar. Yes, Umar has a lot of problems with a lot of people that are in this culture and in black culture, right? Ask him about Roland Martin. There's a lot of people we can ask him about that he really just don't like. He only likes the people that's going to let him come up there and pander. He loves some Charlemagne, right? Handshaking, boot licking, and all that shit when he go over to Breakfast Club. Every time he come up there, the shit do more views than the last time. Everybody in the comments, oh my God, Umar, your voice is needed. For what? More scams? Get out of here. And every time I do a video on Umar, gang, you can bet your money somebody's going to come in this comments section right here and tell me that I'm the problem. Somebody's going to come in this comment section and say, what have you done for the community? Umar Johnson puts his money where his mouth is. Does he? He might put his money in his mouth, but he ain't putting his money nowhere else. Right? So, end of the day, it's kind of weird to say he's trying to take down a peer. 50 Cent and Diddy ain't been peers in a very long time. Let's just be honest. Peer insinuates that you guys are doing the same thing. They're not doing anything alike. They're really not. So, end of the day, yes, 50 Cent don't like him. Guess how many other documentaries were made or hit pieces in these magazines and publications because somebody just didn't like the other person. It happens. But it's not going to discredit that the guy's a slime ball. I guarantee you Jeffrey Epstein got outed for a reason. Okay? You ain't hear just Jeffrey Epstein because of luck. Wasn't an accident. Somebody didn't like him, and I'm sure it was one of his peers that wanted him out of here. Jeffrey Epstein thought he was untouchable until he pissed somebody off, gang. So this is what's going on with Diddy. I don't understand. Let's look at the last couple of days. They've been debating and arguing and not arguing, but kind of like backing and forth and trying to figure out, is it okay to make a documentary about a person if you're just trying to get at them? Guess what, gang? Public figures, you can make a documentary about anybody. It's up to Diddy to not be a slime ball. Diddy's a slime ball. And for Umar Johnson to act like it's 50's problem, we got to chalk another one up to, that's when you're lost, right? That's when you're lost, like Souls and Mister say. Let me finish reading this, gang. This includes Dr. Umar Johnson, who shared his thoughts on the doc during a recent stream. According to him, his problem with it is that it's another instance of a black person exposing another black person. I hate when they do this, gang. It's called gaslighting. At this point, it's gaslighting. When you try to tell me I can't expose him because he's black, it's gaslighting. And Umar doesn't want to be exposed because he's black. Umar wants you to turn that whole mentality around and not expose his ass. His documentary is surely coming. Right? And I hope 50 Cent produces that one because he's going to get it done right. The problem is everybody's like, can you do a documentary without the person's consent? Imagine Dr. Umar's documentary with Dr. Umar telling the goddamn story. What does that look like? Right? By the time the story ends, and then he became the president of the world. Like, it'll be the dumbest documentary you've ever seen with the most lies you've ever conceived. So at the end of the day, for Dr. Umar to come out, and yes, I'm saying that he's defending Diddy, because if you're saying that the documentary is only made because he said it's this in-depth, well, how you supposed to do a documentary? Like, if you're making a documentary this in-depth, okay, what I'm supposed to make it half? Like, I'm supposed to tell 2/4 of the story? Like, what we talking about, gang? Make it make sense, Umar. I'm not going to do a documentary and try to leave shit out. And they left shit out. I told you, they left out of that documentary that Diddy's the reason that the doors were chained and the kids got caught in the school. They didn't even say that in the documentary. It was his fault. There was mad stuff they left out of that documentary. They told enough stuff to make you think Diddy's an awful person, and they left out half of the shit he did. Then you're going to say, Jeffrey Epstein is accused of harming more women than Diddy. How do you know how many women Diddy harmed? How do you know, Umar? You don't know shit but what you're being told, just like the rest of us. You don't know how many women this guy has harmed. This guy Diddy been in power for 30 years. Only a few of these women are even going to come out and speak. How do you know how many women he's harmed? How many women did Jeffrey Epstein harm? What are you talking about, Umar? Umar just talks out his ass, and these guys sit up there and let him do this shit. But let me continue. Quote, I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. You sure? Don't sound like it. He said, as captured by Live Bites, I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people. But you never expose white people to do the things that do things to black people. You're one of the first people to tell us we got to start taking care of our own in-house problems. Why are you trying to divert attention away from Diddy? You want us to start talking about the Pope. You want us to start talking about Catholic priests. You want us to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Everything but Diddy. Everything but Diddy. You the one telling us we need to start taking care of our own problems. You're the one with an issue with anybody that deals with white people in any kind of way. Am I bugging out? If I go get a white wife or somebody get a white husband, this and that and the third, you're all ready to rip up their credentials. They couldn't even work at your school if they did that, the school that never opened. Right? But you want us to sit here and start worrying about what white people did. You want us to act like our house is not dirty. You want us to leave our house like it is and start running out here trying to bring down Epstein, who is dead, in a Catholic church that ain't going nowhere. And I don't know a lot of black Catholics. I'm just going to be honest. All right? Yeah, they exist, but it's not enough to really go out here and do documentaries about them when Diddy's right there. And at the end of the day, we ain't even deal with Diddy yet. Diddy probably be out in a couple weeks. I'm just going to be honest, by the time Trump get the pardoning motherfuckers and this, that, and the third. So end of the day, you want us to move forward and not deal with the devil we know. We know Diddy been a devil for 30 years. They've been talking about Diddy for years. He's been out of control. And now you're here defending him, and I'm saying it loud and proud. You're defending him. When you come out talking about something's wrong with the documentary and the creators hates their self because they made it, I don't know what to tell you, Umar, but once again, you're on the wrong side of history. We're here again with Umar. Every time I watch this guy, it gets worse. He's on the wrong side of history every single time he opens his mouth. I'm just going to be honest. And yes, Umar, like he like to say, is one of them struggle streamers. I'm one of them struggle streamers that's out here exposing your ass, black man. Right? Like that movie. What was that movie when he said, you been through my bag? And he says, nah, I ain't been in your bag. And he says, yo, you calling me a liar, black man? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Umar wants to hit you with that black man, this, that, and the third. What was that, New Jersey Drive or Fresh? One of the movies, one of them old movies from the 90s, right? Somebody tell me in the comments, right? But end of the day, Umar got this mentality, right, where at one point, and I used to buy bean pies. I used to read the Final Call, Farrakhan, this, that, and the third. But at one point, a lot of people that really didn't have no real understanding of that movement started getting in, and they started making it a little too, it got too extreme, and it got a little bit too out of control. And a lot of these people that did that faked on it, and a year later wasn't even buying the bean pies no more, wasn't buying the Final Call. They caused a whole lot of ruckus in it. They was faking the funk. Like we used to say in the 90s, you're faking the funk. Shout out to Main Source. Shout out to Large Professor, gang. A lot of these guys be faking the funk, and that's what I'm here to call you out. Yes, and I'm passionate about it. I don't give two shits what you think. And at the end of the day, I feel like, once again, the ultimate scammer, Dr. Umar Johnson, was given another platform. I don't understand it. I don't know what you get out of it. He's still here, unaccountable for anything. Every dollar he took from them black moms in Philadelphia and all these other people in Delaware and wherever else. You got them 2 dilapidated builders, never did shit with them and end up losing them. And now you want to sit and talk about accountability. I'm out of here, man. Listen, Umar, you defending Diddy, fall back. Right? Or the struggle streamers, we still out here talking shit. I'm out of here, man. CLBMG. Let me know what you think in the comments. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. Every Wednesday night, we go live on the West Show. Me, TJ, and Flares. We probably will be talking about Umar Johnson. And, yeah, we also got a new video called This, That, off the project called The What Project. Me, TJ, and Flares, we go nuts on this. Some hip-hop, man. We rapping, man. Tap in. Go watch that video on my page. It's in my video. Just scroll down a little bit and let me know what you think. All right, I'm out of here. Catch y'all on that flip. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for 1 game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like past fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.